Hey guys, Mr. Bowman here. We are learning to reflect an object through a given mirror line. So the key thing today, I've underlined it in green already, we are reflecting. So the key words for today that we need to develop our understanding for is, well, what's a mirror line? What's an object? So those two words were also in our learning objective, object and mirror line. What's an image? So that's something that'll be a bit new. And there's this concept called prime that I do want us to explore to help us with our answers. So I think the best way to describe each of these is through some examples. So I've got a grid here and we're going to use this grid to help us. So I'm drawing a random example here. So let's go. Maybe we're going to reflect this L shape. Excuse the drawing, it's not the best one in the world, but we're looking to reflect this shape. And normally what happens is the corners or the key points of the shapes are typically labeled. So what I've drawn here, that's actually the object. So the original shape is the object. Normally what then happens is you're then going to be given a mirror line, and that's going to basically be what you reflect through. So what we are reflecting through. And that can be given to you in terms of there's a line, go reflect. It can also be given to you in terms of an equation for a given linear line. And we're going to focus on the equation approach. So let's say our mirror line is the equation y equals 2. So hopefully you remember our special lines work from our previous topic, but y equals 2. So what that does mean, it does mean we need to draw our mirror line. And what I remember is when it's y, we need to look at the y-axis and 2 along there. So it's a line that is perfectly straight and it runs through 2. And the next step is, well, what's the image? Well, that's going to be your new shape, or perhaps you can call it the reflected shape. And this is where we're going to get into some new concepts. I am going to change pen color for this. I'm going to switch back to blue, which was our learning objective color. And when we are reflecting, we do need to remember the concept. The points are always the exact same distance away. So we can see that there is 3 boxes. Do pay attention that each box isn't 1. So it is 3 boxes, which comes to 1.5. So 3 boxes, which means the corresponding point is going to be 3 boxes on the other side of the mirror line. And I'm going to draw a dot here. So that means the equivalent point there. And this is where the word prime comes into play. So this here, we're going to call C dash. And that's just to note, well, it's the equivalent of C. It's the prime of C. And I'm going to write reflected point. And I'm just going to give us an example. C goes to C dash. And we can use that approach to do B as well. So B is also 3 away. So that there would be B dash. We can then think, well, A is 1, 2, 3, 4 more boxes past B. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, which makes it here. So there's A dash. F is across 2 boxes from Y. So 1, 2. Oh, I meant A before, not Y. So that's where F dash is, or the opposite of F. And then if we go towards the mirror line by 2, that'll get us to E. So we've got 1, 2. So that means E dash will sit there. And then we're going to go across to D, 1, 2. That is where D prime is. And that's our final point. So I always like to do the points first, just so I can be sure about it. Once I've made the points, I'm basically going to play a game and connect the dots to finish up my shape. So I'm going to go across to B prime, down to A prime, across to F prime, up to E prime, across to D prime, and then up to C prime. And then if we shade that in just to demonstrate what we've got, that there is our reflected shape or our image as well. So up here, that there was our object, that there was an image. A was an example of a prime, and in the middle was our mirror line. So hopefully you can see each of the elements of this reflection. And the last step is often you can be asked to describe a reflection. And this is where we do need to get a bit wordy in how we do it. So we will focus on describing it. We're doing the bottom half of our page here. So I like to start by describing how many sides the shape has. So you've got to describe the shape properly. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So what we did is, we looked to reflect the 6-sided shape, which you can refer to its letters or its corners. So A, B, C, D, E, F, through mirror line y equals 2. So that was that description of what we did. We just reflected our 6-sided shape, which was A, B, C, D, E, F, through the mirror line y equals 2. All right, so hopefully you found the first example useful. If you don't have this example down with reference to all our terminology and the description, can you please write that down? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I'm actually going to clear our first example, and we're going to get into another example as well. Okay, guys, we're back. We've got our next example. I've drawn a triangle here, and I'm going to describe the transformation that we're going to do. So we are looking to reflect triangle ABC through the mirror line. Mirror line y equals x plus 1. So I suppose the first step, let's change pen color for this actually. The first step, let's draw in our mirror line, and hopefully you've got a good memory of linear algebra because we do need good parts of that for our report. So that 1, that refers to the x or the y-intercept. So that's going to be the intercept, and the x, that refers to the gradient. And in our case, our gradient is 1, which means it rises 1 and it runs 1 as well. So that means rises 1, runs 1, rises 1, runs 1. So our line, or our mirror line, apologize, is not the straightest line of the world, but hopefully we can see it. So that point there would be our mirror line, or that line. And what's interesting about this shape is you'll be able to see some of the shape is on one side of the mirror line and some of the shape is on the other side of the mirror line, which is a bit annoying, but it does mean we can still go through and solve this problem. So I'm just going to get rid of these steps, and I'm going to be using the green pen to use this reflection. So the first point is, well, let's have a look at point A. So we're going to go directly to the mirror line, and so that's kind of got one diagonal unit. So that means if we go diagonally down one more, that point there would be our A prime. So we've done that. We then need to have a look at the other shape, the other part. So let's have a look at B. So B goes straight to that point. So that's 2 diagonal units towards the mirror line. So let's carry on another 2, which is there. So that means that point there would be B prime. And then the same with C. Let's have a look. So it's 1, 2, 3. Oh geez, it's a bit harder to see, isn't it, this one? So let's have a look. So if we're following it this way here, we can see that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half diagonal units away. So we carry on. So there's a half, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, which means that there would be our equivalent point C. And from there, or C prime, we can draw and connect the dots. So we go from C to B. which, yep, if you have a look, it does does appear to be the reflection of B and C there. We then go down to A down there, and then from A we can join up with C as well. And that there's the reflection of our triangle ABC. And just to recap all that terminology, and then we'll wrap up with the video. So the blue triangle, well, that was our object to start off with. We used the mirror line to determine all of the primes, which were basically the corresponding points, to determine our image. So guys, hopefully you found this video useful. Let's get into heaps of questions now.